Hey, welcome back to Two Super Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny.
And today we're going to talk about something I'm very excited for and have been accumulating a position in because I don't see a bigger long-term opportunity than these. So I'm pretty stoked. We're going to talk about AMD, Nvidia. We've talked about it before, but we just hit some really hard buy points and levels.
Nice. I love it. All right. If you guys enjoyed this kind of entertaining stock market content of Two Stupid Guys Trading Stocks, by all means, give it a like and subscribe below. We'd love to have you along in this little venture of ours.
Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks. All right. Do you know who these are?
Yeah, it's Jensen Zhang, right? And then Lisa Su.
Yep, my homegirl. I love her so much.
Yeah.
If she went to Intel would be $300 a share. I'm gonna throw that out there. She's amazing.
You don't like Pat Gelsinger, I guess?
No, I don't.
Not as much.
I gave him a chance, but he's terrible. So the big thing here is it's pretty common sense to realize that every single thing we do is requiring more and more chips, right? There's a variety of chips. However, the thing I wanted to focus on is CPU and GPU. GPU demand is about to go through the roof, and there's really not too many big companies that are making really quality GPUs. This is verified market research, and it's basically the market from 2021 to 2030 growing on average 33.3% CAGR per year. What do you think about that?
That's insane growth for a decade. 33% CAGR. I mean, look at it. 33 billion to 477 billion. You're talking something that's got more than, like, what's that, 12x in 10 years? That's insane growth.
It is. And what's funny is this is going to seem like a cherry-picked graphic. Anyone go on Google, just type on GPU processing forecast 10 years. It's all about the same. It's pretty wild. The reasoning is we're using more and more servers. We're finding more and more often that GPUs are more suited for that. AI is heavily used GPUs are heavily used in AI research and AI application. So it's about to get real. All right. Mm-hmm. I kind of relate this to the oil of now, right? Everyone was saying, like, gold, oil back in the day, 1930s. I can't think of anything that beats this opportunity, to be honest.
Yeah,
this is microprocessor. It's supposed to be CPU. All CPUs are microprocessors. Not all microprocessors are CPUs. But the CPU graph was uglier, but it was the same. So it's fine. They meant to say CPU. This is growing at a much more reasonable rate, right?
Yeah.
Much more down to earth.
Yeah, more mature market. I certainly would agree.
Right. Now, most people are going to say this doesn't matter, and I agree with you. One analyst doesn't matter, okay? This just happened, and the important thing is the timing that it happened. So Gus Richards, who cares? Northern Capital Markets, basically saying, hey, AMD's very, very bullish. They're going to be trading at 16 times for 2023, where they've been chilling at 32 times. Somehow Lisa Su, don't know how, is not worried about supply chain stuff, hasn't been worried about it, and has shown that it doesn't matter because she keeps on saying, no, we're going to keep growing. And then, like, after a month of the earnings report being like, oh, we were wrong, we're going to grow faster. It's like, I don't even understand. Whatever. Awesome.
Yeah, it's insane.
But AMD CPU, PC CPU will fall 6%. GP, pretty sure he meant you, could drop 7%, but it will have a little, impact.
Okay.
So, big article.
16 times multiple for a company like growing at AMD's rate is pretty fantastic, in terms of that growth rate.
Yeah.
That price.
And the crazy thing, and we've looked at this before, is so many tech companies grew a bunch in 2020, right? Then 2021 comes, they're like, oof, okay, hold on, this is a little bit rough. AMD grew at like 65% past that, and then they're saying they're going to grow another 60% this year. crazy, right?
Yeah.
And don't worry, we'll get to Nvidia. But right here, we can clearly see 60% year over year due to that, whatever,
Xilinx.
There we go, that one.
Xilinx, yeah.
Yeah, sure. And they're just kind of reiterating that they're going to be at 16.7 times this year earnings, which is not where this company has been historically.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean, that's 15 times earnings is a good metric for the stock market as a whole, and most companies are not growing anywhere near the rate AMD has been.
right. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but do you want to look at this real quick? This is just this is macro trends, and it's just their revenue.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you saw that massive pump up from 2020 to 2021, but growing already pretty consistently. They're 50% for that previous year from 2019 to 2020. That's pre-pandemic. A little flat between 2018 and 2019, but we were kind of on the cups of a recession there. But already 2017 saw decent growth. That was 20%, and then this is maybe like 5%, and then you saw like a nice, what is that, like 30%, and then finally like a 60% year, which is pretty ridiculous.
Right. So what he's trying to say is sexy AF is the
Yeah,
technical
yeah.
term.
Definitely sexy AF, and the revenue. I mean, the gross profit margins are really wide. I know AMD's finally started buying back shares too, which is another thing I like to see from a value perspective. They pivoted to using that free cash flow. They have next to no debt. They have some really good financial things going for them as well.
They have tons. I don't know why my arrow keeps disappointing. So this is the EBITDA margin. AMD slowly going up every single time. I believe they're at about 26 right now. Nvidia has been a little bit better at this one. They've kind of been chilling around 25 to 30. They're currently at about, I want to say 38. Not bad, right?
Yeah, great margins.
This just kind of reiterates what I just said, right? AMD growing at an absolute disgusting pace. It doesn't even make sense. Nvidia also growing at an absolute disgusting pace, right? We don't need to spend too much time on this. It's just showing these companies are growing incredibly fast. And unlike Netflix, which just stalled its growth, the market itself is going to be growing incredibly fast, as we saw on those previous graphics. This is a cool one. So this is the PE ratio. All right. Why are we like this here?
Because there was next to no growth. People thought it was a doomed company at that point in time.
Yes. Yeah. They were negative. Right here, I would probably disregard this. This is like the fall of AMD. That their PE is super low, but it deserves to be, because at their time they're like, I don't know what to do. We're going to spin off Global Foundries. We can't handle anything. And then I think Lisa Su comes in right here. Interesting.
Nice.
Nvidia, let me move our faces. Also coming down to a much more reasonable PE. We haven't seen AMD at this low of a PE in quite a while. And the reason why I'm excited is we're going to go lower. So okay. Let's get to the fun stuff. All right. Here is the big 3 points on AMD. Okay. AMD just hit a buy zone. Just hit a buy zone for this $72. Because $38 is greedy. I don't think we're going to get there. We're already down 50% from its peak of 160. Or it was like 170. So we're down a little over 50%. I think we're about 60%. I do think this 58 is reachable, but between the 72 and 58, as the SPY drops more, I will be buying up shares a crap ton, a lot. I'm going to be buying a lot of shares. Right. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'd actually have to put some numbers into like a discounted cash flow model for you, but I think they're at a point where the company has some really positive momentum, both with their products and in terms of their financial management and stewardship of the profits they do receive from shareholders. Like I said, they're starting to redeploy cash back into share repurchases. They have like next to no debt, so they're pretty safe for like a coming recession. So yeah, I'd have to put some numbers in there for you to tell you what sort of price I'd be looking at it, but It'd be an investment I'd be interested in accumulating at some point as well.
So I did a video on AMD a while ago saying that this is not the same valuation that it was. And then, there was people in the comments, I can't remember who it was, but they said, no, they're overvalued. And I think this was when it was about 85. And then we reran the stuff, and a good number was about 78. Was like a decent buy range. People were coming up in the comics. And I really do think that we can hit 60. Nvidia.
Okay.
Nvidia is at a higher multiple, it's at a higher PE, but it also has much higher growth on horizon because they only do GPU. And unlike Intel, they're not surrendering a crap ton of market share to AMD. They're still holding the vast majority. Intel's holding a lot, don't get me wrong, but they're garbage. So, I love it. We just lost 160. I do think 114 is realistic. I don't think 79 is realistic, which was my dream buy point. But between this price and 114, I do think Nvidia is a pretty impressive buy for the value.
Oh, interesting. I'm not as familiar with Nvidia's financials, so I can't really comment on that. But I don't know if you know anything about like share buybacks or like whether or not they're like a overly leveraged company. I doubt it, but I don't really know.
I don't believe so. I believe they're pretty healthy, but I'm not 100% confident because I looked at debt and all that stuff, and it wasn't noteworthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's noteworthy if it's like Ford, where they owe a bunch of money.
Yeah, for sure.
But in my opinion, I think that this could be a really, really impressive long-term buy, not a swing trade, long-term buy.
Interesting. And you're buying both. Is there a reason why you've chosen to buy both as opposed to concentrating in one?
Yes. NVIDIA has significantly more GPU exposure than AMD, but AMD has been shown to be incredibly incredibly innovative. And what's that company that bought Xilinx?
Xilinx. Yeah.
Xilinx. The opportunities there to me are extremely impressive. NVIDIA bought a company that's going to be able to start releasing CPUs as well. I think it was like ARM or something. I can't remember what it was.
I thought that merger got denied by regulators.
I'll have to see. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But GPUs,
I think
they're
it did.
a big thing.
Yeah.
As you saw, the GPU market's going crazy. I don't want to pick a company and be wrong. I'm staying away from Micron, especially after their earnings was trash. And Intel has shown that I know they're huge. I know they have a ton of money and all that stuff. If you just listen to an earnings call, it's just apologies for 30 minutes and then like redoing all the promises they made. So I have no interest.
That is true. That is very true. So have you heard like they're releasing their Arc or Alchemist GPU? They released for the mobile version first. Have you heard about this?
No.
No. Basically, it looks like it's going to be a flop. So NVIDIA, when they come out with a new graphics card, right? They come out with the 3080, which is not the top tier. The 3090 was.
Right.
They come out with almost their most ballin' GPU model, and then they released ones beneath that after, right? In complete contrast to that, Intel came out with like their bottom tier, which would be considered like their i3 first.
Okay.
And it's going back to like 2 generations in terms of its capability. Granted, it's their first entry into the market, okay, and they're saying they're going to have a new entry every year compared to Nvidia and AMD, which do a new entry every 2 years. So they're hoping to innovate a little bit faster. But this is promises from Intel.
The reason why they do an entry every 2 years is because it almost doubles performance the prior 2 years. Anyone could release a chip that sucks. That doesn't make it a good idea.
Yeah. The one thing that is actually kind of optimistic about the Intel Arc GPU is that it looks like if you are able to run kind of benchmarky stuff on it, it does do well. It doesn't do well in gaming, but it may actually have better underlying capability for like AI applications or those sort of things down the road as it develops a little bit further, because it looked promising compared to other GPUs.
For me, leadership is one of the most important things. Intel's prior CEO had to be let go because it was going so poorly. Then they got, what's this guy's name, Pat
Gelsinger, yeah.
Pat Gelsinger. And I gave him a chance at first. I listened to his first 2 calls. I was like, hey, and granted, he's inheriting a very mismanaged business, right?
Yeah.
I listened to the call. I was like, yeah, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. We're going to get back to our roots, I believe he said. And then the next 2 earning calls after that, I was like, oh, we got to push all that stuff I said back. My bad. This isn't working. I'm out.
Yeah.
All right,
agree.
guys.
I agree. Yeah, catch you in the next one.
Let us know if you have any interest in these trades. I'm going to be buying these a lot. So, later.
Love it.